2008 main event champ Peter Eastgate takes on Bertrand Elke Gropellier. Online qualifier Dan Ramirez meets Eric E-Dog Lindgren. Patrick Antonius challenges Chris Moneymaker. At table 4, Dario Minieri and Jamie Gold. 2009 World Series heads-up champ Leo Walpert. He takes on Eric Basebaldy Baldwin. Eric Seidel and defending heads-up champ Huckleberry Seed. Online qualifier Stephen Quinn and 2006 heads-up champ Ted Forrest. And at our feature table, David Williams battles the reigning World Series champion, Joe Cata. David, what's your strategy taking on Joe today?
Well, fortunately for me, his heads-up lasted a long time, and I was able to watch and pick up on some things with his play, so hopefully he hasn't adapted much since then.
All right, Joe, you've been running hot. Have you figured this whole poker thing out? I mean, you're only 22 years old, and you are the reigning World Series champ.
Yeah, everything's been happening so fast, so, I mean, hopefully could even have close to the same success in the following year.
All right, well, good luck, guys. Get the cards in the air.
The club's bracket getting underway. Joe Cata and David Williams, each with 20,000 in chips. Blinds at 150 and 300.
No hard feelings if I suck out.
Likewise.
Pretty good at it.
Williams mentioned that he watched Cata's heads-up play with Darvin Moon from the main event final table.
600 total.
And whether or not he actually picked up on anything is irrelevant. The idea that he's telling Joe he did establishes that he wants to get in his head early.
1,200 in the pot. Couple of diamonds on the flop.
Checks it.
Cata's ace high. Way the best hand right here.
That is 800.
Williams bets 800. Cata folds.
Some players will tear one off with ace high. Not Joe.
Williams taking the first pot from the reigning main event champion as we size up the 16 competitors in the club's bracket. No shortage of champions in this portion of the draw.
Highly decorated bracket. In addition to Joe Cata, there are 4 other main event champions in this flight, as well as 2 national heads-up poker champs in Ted Forrest and Huck Seed. Huck is the reigning champion in this event, and he's got the best record all time. Tough to pick against him.
8 matchups going on right now as we see Dario Minieri on the left taking on 06 main event champ Jamie Gold. They're at table 4.
Cool.
7-4 suited for Gold. He limps in.
This should be an exciting match. Dario's known for playing a very unorthodox style, sometimes reckless. Jamie Gold, of course, not exactly conventional himself.
Check.
Minieri pairs his 9. Check, check.
4.
Gold pairs his 4.
Dario bets 4.
Dario bets 400.
That piques Jamie's interest.
Trip 4s for Gold.
Runner, runner.
11.
Dario bets 1,100.
A raise.
Here it comes.
Jamie decides to raise to 4,600.
Do you want to show me one card? You don't want to?
Jamie obliges and shows him the 7.
What are you worried about? You think I got a 4? Come on.
He's laying it on thick.
If I call, that's really bad because if you didn't show me this card, I was folding.
What else could I have? I have to have it, right?
Oh, dirty poker.
You beat the 8?
I beat the 6.
Minieri calls.
Oh, nice one.
Jamie played Dario like a Stradivarius.
I beat the 6.
I didn't think you were checking with a hand on, without a hand on the flop. Ah, bad by me.
Now, runner.
This is a Jamie Gold kind of match. A lot of table talk right up his alley.
A fast-paced hour of poker on tap. First, the club's bracket Ali in a feature table matchup of David Williams and the defending World Series of Poker main event champion, Joe Cotta. How do you see this one playing out?
Craig, Joe Cotta is on the highest of highs to the tune of $8 million. Youngest World Series of Poker main event champion ever at just 21. Across the felt from him, a veteran of this event at 29 years old in David Williams, who got incredibly unlucky last year, losing after flopping a full house to Sam Farha, who made it into the semis. He's very disappointed, and I like the chip on his shoulder over the potential first-time nerves of Joe Cotta. Williams through the second round.
Slight chip advantage for Joe. He looks at ace-10.
That'll work.
And raises to 725. 6-4 for David.
Slightly less attractive combination of cards.
And he'll call.
David not afraid to play all parts of the deck.
Joe pairs his 10, inside straight draw for Williams. He checks.
Good flop for Joe. Top pair, top kicker. Not a very draw-heavy board at all.
Cotta bets 900. And Williams raises to 2,300.
There's that aggressive style that David Williams has been known for.
Joe with the re-raise to 5,450.
Not afraid to play a big pot on that board with ace-10.
Williams says enough is enough and folds.
Credit to David for releasing. Not over-investing.
Moving over to an outer table where Patrick Antonius is surprisingly on the ropes against Chris Moneymaker.
Patrick moved all in on the flop with bottom pair. He's crushed right now. Was down to just 6,000 and change before the hand started. And the rest of that looks to be headed Chris's way.
Wait a minute. The turn makes 4 to a straight. They'll now chop with an 8 or a tray.
It's never easy.
It's a 6 on the river. Moneymaker quickly moving on. Antonius going to have to make his way back to Monte Carlo.
He goes to 0-3 lifetime in the event. Bit of an emotional roller coaster for Chris Moneymaker. Chris, it's okay, buddy. Relax. Smile. You're on to the round of 32.
Welcome back to Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, as we rejoin our featured table. David Williams with a 5,000 chip lead. Blinds now 2 and 400.
Where do you stay at? How far away from the strip?
No,
Panorama?
Right, yeah, so it's like
wow. A lot of
5
poker
minute
players
drive.
and stay there.
It's pretty cool.
It's right here. Live by yourself or your roommates?
No, I have my own place. My girlfriend stays with me all the time, but just me. I don't like roommates. I had some roommates, not in Panorama, but where I live.
He raises to 1,000. Ace-9 for Cotta.
Something about having your own spot, you know.
He calls.
Yeah. I've had roommates for a while and finally.
Pretty sure Joe just asked David if he had roommates. That's not so much something you carry into your late 20s.
Trip jacks for Williams. Cotta checks. David bets 1,300.
Cotta defended his blind earlier with ace-9. Check folded on the flop, but here you've got different texture, a paired board, and Joe makes the call. In the prior pot, his ace-high was good. Here he's smashed.
Cotta pairs his 9. That's no help, but he might think it is.
Reality is he's drawing dead. That's actually a bad card for Joe. He's probably going to lose some more chips here.
Williams bets 2,400. Joe calls.
And you can tell by the look on his face, he doesn't seem thrilled that he has to call here.
Queen of spades on the river.
Joe checking again. No reason to bet. If Williams is bluffing, let him bluff. And if he's not, call and say nice hand.
David bets 5,000.
Williams the kind of guy that's capable of a 3-barrel bluff. And that's why it's so hard to throw this hand away.
Joe looks him up, and Williams takes the biggest pot of the match so far.
Listen.
Not the way Joe was looking to start this match off. Without being disrespectful, Joe told me he thinks David is a spewy player at times, which basically means he's capable of burning a lot of chips. That time he had it, though.
Transitioning back to table 4, where Jamie Gold on the right is holding a 2-to-1 chip advantage over Dario Minieri. Blinds here at 2 and 400.
2-to-1 chip advantages when these two are at the table really aren't as significant as when some others might be.
7-6 for Dario. He raises to 1,000. Jack 5 suited for Jamie. He'll call.
Don't underestimate the Jack 5. It just took a big pot.
Trey Deuce Queen Rainbow.
Jamie checks.
Jack high is
1,000.
good for the record right here.
Dario bets 1,000. Jamie fold.
Dario bets 1,000 and a quick fold from Jamie Gold.
1 and 1 for Jack 5 in the last 2 hands. Not bad. I barely recognize Dario without his trademark scarf. Wonder if he's retired it.
They kept it in customs. Pocket sevens for Gold.
Jamie declared raise.
He raises
Plus 15.
to 1,900.
Make it 1,900.
Pocket deuces for Dario.
This is a big pre-flop raise with the blinds at 2 and 400. Most players 2.5, 3 times the big blind
I raise.
is big
Dario
enough.
declared re-raise.
Jamie makes it almost 5x here.
Dario declares a re-raise. To 8,200.
How much more do you have?
Keeping the big raise theme alive here.
6,400.
That's pot committing. If Gold goes over the top here, there's no way Dario can fold.
I'm all in.
Jamie puts Dario all in.
Do you have a par?
I do.
Oh, you're 80% to win.
I have 7s.
Yeah.
Minieri forced to call, and he's at risk of being eliminated.
Jamie Gold, 2 deuces for Dario Minieri. Jamie Gold with a big lead in this hand.
And his mom.
Jamie with a cheering section of 1.
That's his mom, and she's standing in the wrong corner.
I know the deuce of diamonds is not coming.
2 sevens. 7-7, huh?
Minieri's interesting version of optimism there.
He's not going to find it on the flop.
Not today.
Still 2 to come, though.
Here's the turn.
Stranger things have happened in this event.
It is
Turns
an
the
8.
8 of hearts. Minieri has 1 pull left. He needs that deuce.
Or
Dario needs a deuce.
can we fade the deuce?
Here's the river. And it's
River's a 6. Gold's moving on to the round of 32.
Jamie will join Chris Moneymaker as the 2nd World Series of Poker main event champion to advance from this bracket.
Back at our featured table, there's David Williams, a style-conscious competitor, showcasing a fresh ensemble in 2010.
I don't have any plans to bring back the diamond toothpick holder. You got to constantly keep your style evolving. I mean, this year I've kind of got a different look going. Who knows? I mean, I might bring it out, if I get deep, just to spark a little controversy again. But, you got to always change your style and change it up. So I mix it up and then try to bring something new to the table each year.
Was he talking about his clothes or his poker game, Ali?
Maybe a little of both, but I can't wait for him to have a yard sale, Greg. Let's get in on some of those older threads.
I get the toothpick. Kata looks at ace-jack. He raises to 1,200. Pocket sevens for David.
All in.
He puts Kata all in.
No, I got a pair.
Snap call from Joe.
Take a look.
That's a pretty quick call from Kata.
2 sevens for David Williams.
Almost felt reflex-ish.
Good luck. I don't mean it.
Sevens work for Jamie Gold.
Here's the flop.
Will they work again?
Kata can't connect on the
Head
flop.
high, 2 sevens
flop
are
here.
still good.
Still looking for an ace or a jack to double up and
Here's the
essentially
turn.
level the stacks.
And it is
Joe
a
adds an
queen.
inside straight draw.
A few more outs now
Which
for
means
Joe
a
Kata.
king would now save him as well.
Jack or a king.
10 outs once for
Here's the
Kata.
river.
24 to 10.
The
And it's a
deuce,
to
not
David
what
Williams.
Joe
He is
ordered,
all
and
over that
Williams
too.
We'll move on.
Just held over.
Excellent example of exploiting a loose, aggressive table image by David Williams. Doing it in style. A little big pot poker and some lucky sevens proved to be the winning formula for both Jamie Gold and David Williams as they advance to the round of 32.
Welcome back to NBC's National Heads Up Poker Championship. Well, the club's bracket has seen several upsets as Chris Moneymaker got past Patrick Antonius, Jamie Gold beat Gaudio Minieri, Peter Eastgate got the best of fellow European Bertrand Gropellier, Stephen Quinn took out Ted Forrest, and David Williams outlasted reigning main event winner Joe Cotta. Let's see how the rest of the matches finish up.
A stunning development here. Huck Seed, the winningest player in heads-up history, facing elimination against Eric Seidel, who's 0-5 in his heads-up career.
Seed, meanwhile, is 18-4, and at the pairings party, he pointed out that Seidel would have to win this event 3 consecutive years just to match his win total.
3 clubs on the flop. Seed doesn't improve.
He needs a 10 or he's going home in the first round, and I'm fishing for a second chance bracket pool.
Aren't we all? Trey on the turn. Seed still searching for one of 3 remaining 10s. Take nothing away from Eric Seidel, but if he can beat the defending champ and the winningest player in the history of this event, that's big.
Here's the river.
And that's exactly what he's just done.
Oh, boy.
Hey, will you rip mine up too?
Yeah, I got you.
Seidel wins for the first time here in 6 years.
A super accomplished player with a long and illustrious career. Nice to see him finally break through.
Another all-in and call, Eric Lindgren with the big chip lead over NBC Online qualifier Dan Ramirez.
Dan Ramirez with 2 queens.
Classic race, 2 queens against ace king.
I trapped him, Barry.
Ramirez has got his money in good here. If his queens hold and he doubles up, he'll level the stacks.
Lindgren pairs his king.
Eric Lindgren, king 9-4, 2 clubs.
Such a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach when you got 2 queens and you see that flop.
The ace of diamonds.
Eric now with 2 pair.
Changes nothing. Ramirez still needs a queen to stay alive.
And it's a 5 of
The
diamonds.
5 sinks Ramirez. Lindgren moving on to the round of 32.
E-Dog 1 win away from cashing for the 2nd straight year.
Lindgren smiling, but Eric Baldwin is not all in and covered against reigning World Series heads-up champ Leo Wolpert.
Ace 6 off. Leo with the king 8 off.
Leo might not have the best of it here, but he's had his way with Baldy so far.
Deuce 4-9 rainbow.
Ace high still looking good for Eric. It's got to hold if he wants to double up and climb back into the match.
Deuce pairs the board. Baldwin's ace high still best.
Don't do it.
Oh, yeah, he did it. The river's an 8.
Good luck to you.
Oh, boy.
Wolpert moving on. Baldwin moving out.
To be fair, Leo knows his way around the heads-up felt, but it took a little luck to finish the job.
And with that, the first round matchups in the club's bracket are complete. Moneymaker springing the upset, and Huck Seed, one of 2 former heads-up champs, ousted here in the first round.
3 out of 5 World Series of Poker main event champions making it through, including Peter Eastgate and Jamie Gold.
All right, feelings if I suck out?
Likewise. You want to show me one card?
I trapped him, Barry. I'm all in.
I hope you don't have a card. Do you have a card?
I have 7s.
From the fast-paced clubs bracket, we now focus in on diamonds. And this 4th quarter of the draw is anything but an afterthought. 16 elite players with considerable resumes and legitimate title aspirations. A loaded section of the bracket takes to the tables next. First round matchups in the diamonds bracket coming up at the 6th annual National Heads Up Poker Championship.
Welcome to the National Heads Up Poker Championship presented by Full Tilt Poker.
Well, 3 rounds are already in the books, and the Diamonds bracket is ready to finish things off with a bang. At the feature table, a well-dressed Sammy Farha matches wits with the always entertaining Antonio Esfandiari. All right, Sammy, you're probably the most unpredictable guy here. How is he going to beat you? Is he going to have to get lucky?
I don't know about him getting lucky, but we had previous matches, me and Antonio. He's ahead a lot.
Is he going to be able to figure you out?
I don't know about this. Like you said, I'm really unpredictable.
All right. You know, I know you really want to punish Dr. Farha here.
I do.
Got any tricks up your sleeve for that today?
Many.
He's
many
done it
tricks
before.
up the sleeve. I've done it before, but we've never played heads up, so I'm curious to see how the outcome is.
You going to tell us any of those tricks?
No, I'm just going to show them.
All right, you got it. Good luck, gentlemen. Let's
Thank
get the
you.
cards in the air.
Sammy never at a loss for words. Antonio with a lot of confidence going in.
All right, buddy. Good luck to you.
Good luck, Sammy.
Play good, though.
You too.
Don't make no moves.
I won't make a move. They told me not to bluff you. You always call.
I don't know about this. You should bluff, eh? You should. What do we have, 20,000? Yeah.
Good thing we don't have a no shoes, no service policy.
I have a feeling I'm going to go all in. No, I can't go all in. I'll probably raise it a little bit, and then we'll see what happens, right?
Oh, raisy daisy. Here we go.
Let's do it.
700 total?
He raises to 700.
Oh, boy. This is it. This could be it. That was a bad raise, 400 more. See, I got to adjust myself to it, though.
Queen 10 for Esfandiari. He calls. Trip kings for Farha.
Good shot, straight draw for Antonio, who checks it.
That is 900.
Sammy bets 900.
Sammy has no reason to slow play since he could have any 2 cards at any time.
This could be it, buddy.
Antonio calls.
I hope so.
He's looking for a jack.
Antonio pairs his queen. He can only chop now if the jack hits.
That is 1900.
Farha bets 1900.
He's very capable of a 2-barrel bluff here, so you can't just give him credit for an ace or a king if you're Antonio, which is unfortunate because he's got it.
You're making me nervous. I better put this on. Not yet.
Esfandiari calls, and a blank on the river.
Antonio checking a 3rd time. Sammy's got to decide how much he thinks he can get out of him.
Told you it's going to be it the first hand.
He settles on 5,000.
You're going to make it easy for me if you call.
Verbal warfare.
I really think I have you, Sammy. But I'll be really sick if you show me a king.
What could you have? 10 jack? That's my hand. I hope you call. I don't care what you do. I just hope you call. I want to finish early. Told you it could be over the first hand. If you play it faster, though. You didn't play it fast enough. There you go. You made a good decision.
Antonio folds.
You got a read on me. I don't know what it is, but you have a read on me. You definitely have a read on me, buddy.
That look on Antonio's face says it all.
Nice answer.
You did the right thing. Maybe. I don't know what you have, though.
Bluff me, huh?
I'm not going to bluff. I don't play the... You've seen it. I never bluff in this game. Very rare.
After only 1 hand, Sammy's got Antonio's head spinning.
Vintage Farha.
Raise 900 total.
Antonio raises to 900, and quickly Sammy puts him all in. This is only the 2nd hand.
Told you I want to finish fast. I'm here on a mission. There you
It's
go.
easy to be a man on a mission when you're armed with ace-king.
And good fold by Antonio. He was crushed.
Nice hand.
Thank you, man.
I said, your chips are blocking the camera when you check. Thanks, all good.
On purpose. I didn't want to show all my hand, you know. Then they got to tell on me next trip. next year.
Sammy doesn't want to give anything away.
Tell me, it's going to be fast, Antonio. There's no cheap flops.
I'm looking forward to it.
I played this hand bad, though. I had a monster. Should have raised it a little bit. That was crazy.
Farha's mouth has as much to do with his poker success as any hand he's dealt.
8-6 for Farha. He limps in.
Check his pulse. Check.
Antonio ace tray. Wants a pulse check on Sammy. Esfandiari flops a wheel. Farha with a two-way straight draw.
That is 500.
Antonio bets 500.
Leading right out with such a big hand.
Sammy raises to 1,500.
And that's what you want to see if you're Antonio. I'd expect a re-raise from him here, though, because while he has a huge hand, it's a vulnerable one. With the possible club draw on board, quite a few cards that'll hurt his wheel.
25 more.
Esfandiari following your script, Ali. He raises to 4,000.
Just 2,500 more for Sammy to call.
And he does it.
Not shy about tearing one off, that's for sure.
Turns the ace of spades. Antonio's wheel still way out in front.
That card puts 4 to a straight out there. Kind of hurts Antonio's action, so he goes for the check raise. Sammy doesn't bite, though.
Check, check. Farha makes a 6-high straight on the river.
This is so ugly. What a disaster for Antonio. The wheel's on board now after he flopped the second nuts.
Sammy puts Antonio all in.
That's a pretty sick turn and river.
You can say that again.
Pretty sick.
Thank you. Antonio's playing the board at this point. He could only hope to chop the pot if he calls.
3 hands and 3 pots for Farha.
That's a painful but appropriate laydown for Antonio.
Nice, Sam.
Thank you.
Just a tragic turn and river.
So much for my 2 pair.
Any other contest in Antonio would be calling a timeout right about now.
8 tables in play, and here's a look at the matchups. Farha and Esfandiari holding court. 09 runner-up Vanessa Russo versus Barry Greenstein. Gus Hansen squares off against Greg Raymer. Jerry Yang takes on the mouth, Mike Matiso. Main event runner-up Darvin Moon draws qualifier Bill Huntress. 08 heads-up runner-up Andy Block and Annie Duke. Qualifier Andrew Wilson gets 07 champ Paul Wasika. And a clash of the Jennifers, Harmon versus Tilly at table 4.
They're saying, well, who do you think is going to take it down? I said, well, I think the people who have done it before are probably good bets, like Eric and like Huck and Ferguson.
Yeah, they've been through the ropes.
Lines 150 and 300. Harmon with a slight chip advantage. Tilly looks at 7-5 suited.
Tilly, a World Series of Poker bracelet holder.
She raises to 800. Jack 9 suited for Harmon. She'll call. Harmon pairs her Jack.
Complete air for Jennifer Tilly here. Harmon checking over to her.
Tilly bets 1,000.
And she'll fire the continuation bet. It's what you're supposed to do.
Harmon calls.
Harmon calls.
That's what's not supposed to happen, though, when you got 7 high.
Trey on the turn, Tilly drawing dead. Harmon checks.
Do not adjust your set. Tilly is actually reaching for chips here with 7 high.
And she fires barrel number 2.
Trying to represent a big hand.
15?
50.
Harmon not buying it, though.
She calls.
2 gens playing a big pot. They go to the river.
Deuce on the river.
Harmon checks. Tilly checks.
Check, check. And Harmon adds to her chip advantage.
Tilly shutting it down, doesn't summon the courage for a 3rd barrel. No telling what would have happened if she fired with a big enough bet on the end, though, because Harmon's capable of making laydowns.
At table 1, qualifier Andrew Wilson on the left is all in and covered against 2007 heads-up champ Paul Wasika.
King Jack suited is going to be Andrew Wilson's war. Wasika a slight favorite heading to the flop.
Wilson doesn't connect on the flop.
No clubs on the flop.
He's looking for a king or a jack. A 10 or a queen would spice things up.
Here's the turn. And it's
Turn pairs the board.
Wilson's got 6 outs to avoid the exit.
Here's the river.
Not meant to be. Wilson's well runs dry on the river. Wasika is welcomed into the round of 32.
Got a feel for Andrew. Tough enough just to qualify for this thing. And then you draw a former heads-up champ.
It continues to be tough going for our qualifiers as another favorite advances. We return to Las Vegas and back inside the Caesars Tournament poker room. Sam Farha on the left, still holding an almost 3-1 chip lead over Antonio Esfandiari. Lines now at 2 and 400.
The other way to look at a 3-1 chip lead is that your opponent is one double up away from leveling the stacks.
7 tray, Sammy limps in. Jack 8 suited for Esfandiari, he checks. Couple of 4s on the flop.
Air for both players. No one willing to put a chip in on the flop. Good turn card for Antonio, though.
Open-ended straight draw for Esfandiari. He bets 600.
That should settle this hand.
You want it?
Yeah. Thank you.
Sammy folds.
I'm not gonna give you a hard time. Just take it.
Appreciate it.
Check out Sammy's smile. It's sinister.
Makes me nervous just thinking about having to play that guy heads up. What an uncomfortable spot to be in.
What's the price on Berry and Vanessa?
1.7 to 1.
Really? Vanessa's favorite?
Antonio has ace-5. He limps in.
Raise it up.
Ace-10 suited for Farha. He raises to 1,300.
All in.
Antonio moves all in.
Are you serious? Just like that? Aiko.
Farha calls. Whoops. And there's that smile.
Sammy with the chip lead.
Antonio tried to trap Sammy and ends up trapping himself.
Ace-5 off for Antonio. Ace-10 of hearts for Sammy Farha.
Good luck, Sammy.
You too, buddy.
I need it more than you. 5 one time.
I'm all right. I'm used to it.
Here's the flop.
No, hold it. I gotta do some praying here. Go ahead.
Ace-5, ace-5.
He did well. He did well.
And it's ace-high.
Farha's ace-10 still way ahead.
Ace-10 still leads.
Doesn't look good.
It's tough enough to beat Sammy Farha when he doesn't pick up any hands. When he does, it's just about impossible.
And it is the
With the 9, Antonio
hearts.
can only hope to chop, but those chop outs can't be a heart.
King, queen, jack. King, queen, jack.
Don't listen to him now.
Don't forget the
That's
ace
all
of the
right, I'm
9.
enjoying this game so much. I hope you hit it.
Put a big one.
Give him a king. I don't care. This is a good match. I love it. I want to play.
5 is no good, Dad. We need king, queen, or jack.
Give me 5. Who said the 5?
My dad.
Which one is on my side? Your dad?
And it's a 7 of diamonds. Sam
Farha was enjoying himself, but I think he'll like moving on.
Especially considering he feels like he doesn't run that well against Antonio typically.
That's kind of scary right there.
That was a scary.
Not that bad. I couldn't lose at least, right?
Yeah.
That was a good card.
Meanwhile, we have an all-in situation at table 2.
Andy has 2 10s. King, queen,
Andy
of
Duke
diamonds
with
for
pocket
Andy
10s.
Block.
Andy Block with king, queen suited.
Andy a slight dog heading to the flop. He's facing elimination if he can't improve.
He does improve. He pairs his king.
Should be smooth sailing for Andy to double up and take the chip lead here. All he's got to do is fade a 10.
4 of diamonds on the turn.
Looking good for Block.
Or Andy will double up. Here's the river. And it is a 10.
The river's a 10. Duke spikes a set. And Block's day is done.
saw the card before.
Duke looking literally shocked there. And who can blame her? A pure 2-outer? Not to mention she had a 1-5 record coming into this match.
Back over at table 5, Vanessa Russo is all in.
Vanessa
As if things weren't bad enough with her stack down to around 5,000 in chips just an hour before the match, she actually broke a bone in her foot.
Here's the flop.
Toughed it out just to get here.
Her luck doesn't improve. Greenstein pairs his jack.
All right. Well, that was great.
Russo's king fishing.
Here's the turn.
Turns a 10 of hearts. The GoDaddy girls down to a king only.
Vanessa needs a king and a king only. Here's the river.
Anything else and she's the go-home girl.
And it's a 7.
It's a 7 of clubs. Russo goes from last year's final to a first-round exit this year.
Tough day for her. Breaks her foot and then gets eliminated, all in the span of a couple of hours.
As Barry moves on for the 6th straight year, let's send it down to Leanne.
Annie, what a 10 on the river. How did you feel when that came up?
I think you saw me. I was like, that was a hell of a card. I mean, the thing that people need to realize about those hands is it was a 5-card hand. So we got all the money in before the flop. So it's not like I hit like a 4%er. That being said, the order of the cards was very dramatic.
Right. All right, well, you're moving on. Thanks, Annie.
Thank you.
We began this year's event with 7 women in the field. One more heads home, while another advances.
From the streets of Las Vegas, the National Heads Up Poker Championship speeding onward. Mike Matusow on the right in big trouble against Jerry Yang.
2 pair for Jerry Yang. 6s and 4s.
Mike at risk of being eliminated here. Money got in on the turn. Now Mike needs a deuce, 8 or a king.
Here's the river. And it's a
7 of hearts
Jerry
puts a
Yang
muzzle
on
on the
round 2,
mouth.
beating Mike
Yang
Matusow.
advances.
Yet another World Series of Poker main event champion advancing. I think it's safe to say, though, that was an upset.
We head back to table 4.
Jennifer, do you have a nickname? You don't have a nickname.
I don't. I don't know why.
I'm trying to get. My nickname is, because of Phil, they call me the Unibombshell, but I hate that. And Gavin Smith calls me Jay Tilla the Killer. I like that.
I like that one.
It makes me sound like I'm really mean.
I like that one.
Come on, Unibombshell's the winner.
That's just about even.
Okay, raise to 24.
Harmon with queen 9.
Tilly makes it 3 times the big blind.
Tilly raises on the button.
Harmon calls.
Dominated heading to the flop. Harmon wants to see a queen.
It's 6 tray 4 rainbow.
Total air for both players here.
Harmon checks.
Now it's continuation bet time for Jennifer Tilly.
She bets 3,500.
Tilly bets 3,500.
Harmon hasn't thrown her hand away yet.
Here is.
She announces a raise.
Harmon's announced raise.
$8,000.
And bumps it up to 11,500.
8,000 more.
Jennifer Harmon is basically not giving Jennifer Tilly any credit for having connected with that flop after raising pre-flop.
Nice, yeah.
Tilly wants no part of it and folds.
It's risky business, but that's poker on a high level from Jen Harmon.
Jennifer Tilly versus Jennifer Harmon in the first round, a matchup that's created some ambivalence for both competitors.
I have no rivalry with Jen. I love her. I was a little perturbed that I was being matched up with Jen because I find it easier to play against men because women have other women's numbers.
I really like Jennifer, so it's going to be hard to play her. She studies the game. She knows the math. She really wants to do well, so she's got, she's got a lot of drive behind her, too. So she's going to be a tough opponent.
I don't want to knock her out, but I don't want her to knock me out. So, you know, I'd rather meet Jennifer later on in the tournament, but I'm meeting her on the felt now, so let's see what happens.
And that was it. I started playing Hold'em. Going in after school.
Right.
Playing poker.
That's so funny. I didn't even know they had Hold'em, you know, until the last 10 years. I always played stud.
While liking your opponent and being friendly is perfectly acceptable,
I can't even begin to tell you how many hours I've played of Limit Hold'em before you even knew it existed.
when you hit the felt, it's time to get down to business. And that's what Harman's gonna do here.
Harman with King Jack suited against Tilly's Jack 10 suited. Harman's raised to 2,300. And Tilly calls.
Pot up to 4,600 heading to the flop.
Harman flops 2 pair.
Middle pair for Tilly. Look at this, Harman checking. She's gonna slow play. Tilly won't bite though.
After check, check, and ace on the turn, inside straight draw for Tilly. Harman bets 2,200, and Tilly folds.
With no hesitation either, kudos to Jennifer Tilly. She didn't even think twice about that laydown. Jennifer Harman getting the best of Jennifer Tilly.
Welcome back to the Caesars Palace tournament room. The first round of the Diamonds bracket is almost complete. Sammy Farha made quick work of Antonio Esfandiari. Paul Wasika took out Andrew Wilson. Gus Hansen beat Greg Raymer. Jerry Yang shut up Mike Matiso. Darvin Moon defeated Bill Huntress. Annie Duke knocked off Andy Block. And our final match is the Battle of the Jennifers as Harman is taking on Tilly. Let's get back to the table.
Harman on the left wielding a big chip lead, almost up 4-1 in chips over Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer hovering at around 10 big blinds. Typically expect the all-in or fold play at this point.
Harman with Queen 5 limps in. Tilly with trade deuce checks. Harman pairs her 5, open-ended straight draw for Tilly. She goes all in.
All in.
Willing to gamble.
Mamma mia.
Notice Harman isn't calling right away. She wants to think things through.
I thought I had a 4 in my hand, but I didn't.
It's unlikely Tilly has a 4 in her hand either. Or she'd probably check. Hope to trap Harman. Pocket pair also pretty unlikely. Probably would have shipped it in pre-flop.
It costs her a quarter of her stack, but Harman calls. Tilly at risk. Harman with a chance to advance.
Pushed in on the flop.
Tilly's looking for an ace or a 6 to hit that straight draw. 8 outs.
Tilly against the Queen 5 for Jennifer Harman.
You have outs.
Alex,
I mean, it's better than having 2 3s, right?
I need an ace.
Or a 6.
Or a 6. An ace or a 6.
Here's the turn.
Turn no help to Tilly, and she knows it still needs that ace or 6.
Tilly needs an ace or a 6.
Anything else, and Jennifer Harman is moving on.
And it is a 3.
Harman wins the Battle of the Jennifers. She'll complete our round of 32, while Tilly will be one and done in 2010.
No worries, I don't like to play here.
Tilly never really got anything going. And while I'm sure the two are still friends, maybe not for the next few hours.
And with that, the round of 64 is complete. 8 Diamonds winners filling out the remaining field of 32. And it's been tough going for Canada. Jennifer Tilly, the 5th Canadian to be eliminated.
And in the bottom half of the bracket, 2 World Series main event runners-up advanced. The field has officially been cut in half.